Want tactical looking shirts for your team? Well, head on over to Jolly Roger Tactical, where we have easy to use templates to make your team look great. Just choose your size, hit the custom text button, enter your call sign, name, and team name, and boom, you have a custom team shirt just like that. Easy to order and no hassle. These come in black and tan. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out all the other gear we carry at Jolly Roger Tactical, plus our School of Infantry and Team Center. What's up guys, it's Noble from Jolly Roger Airsoft, and today we're going to be looking at what makes a good Milsim loadout. Now I know some of you want me to say that you need to see your ass with dual mag pouches and a fast helmet, but I'm not going to, because that doesn't really matter. A good Milsim loadout is something that works for you. Some people are into accurate impressions of SEALs, Rangers, etc., and that's cool, but I have nothing against Condor and whatever camo works best. The bottom line is that you have to find what works for you. Now there are some basic guidelines I can give to help you find that quicker and look professional at the same time. So that's what this video will focus on. Now, at major Milsim events, you're going to want some basic gear. You would benefit from having some kind of rig, be it a plate carrier, chest rig, Alice gear, whatever. This allows you to carry magazines in a more efficient and secure fashion. Camouflage clothing is always also a plus, unless you're designating as the civilian style team. You know, there's a ton of different patterns out there, but I would suggest something that works for the environment you're in. We will discuss that more in depth later. If you're going to be playing Milsim often, it's also a good idea to invest in a pair of combat boots, which can be found at most surplus stores. Other types of boots will work as well. So, you have your camo, boots, rig, now you need a gun. Your gun should suit your playstyle and should be your most prized possession on the field. Without your gun, you're useless. You're a liability to your team. You need to carry a little more ammunition than you think you will need, and this varies from person to person. I know people who could burn through 1,000 rounds in 10 minutes, and people who could last for hours on 2 mags. Personally, I carry 5 300-round Stanag magazines, which is more than enough for half a day evolution at a standard Milsim op. I could get by with 4, but just in case, I carry the 5th. Finally, you need eye pro or face pro or whatever the field requires. I use good shooting glasses whenever I can, but most large fields require full seal, so we gravitate towards special sunglasses with foam inserts that are used to make them full seal. They don't fog badly and they're low profile. They look cool enough to wear around town. I would also recommend a lower mesh face mask simply because the mesh cuts down on the fogging if you have to wear a lower mask. Anti-fog wipes also work well. Highly recommended. So this is all you need for a Milsim operation. Helmets, pistol, tactical heads-up displays, this is all secondary and optional. You don't need it. Now, for a rig, I have nothing against Condor. I use my MPS plate carrier or my Condor Ops chest rig, so, you know, I'm just fine with that. I know it's not the highest quality stuff, but it gets the job done for my airsofting needs. If you want to go and be above and beyond, that's fine too. You get what you pay for. But I don't personally absolutely need the nicer gear. Now I use Molle, because I like the adaptability and modularity of the system, but you can use any sort of built-in pouches or Alice gear, whatever you want. All that matters is that you're using a rig that can carry your gear, whatever you need. Pockets are fine for CQB or backyard games, but carrying 5 magazines in your pockets gets old after a few hours, trust me. I use a double AK magazine pouch to carry most of my ammo when I'm not using the built-in pouches on my MPS plate carrier. I also have an EMT pouch that I use as a field repair kit, an admin pouch that can hold MP5 or pistol mags, a triple submachine gun magazine pouch for when I use my MP5, and a Molle backpack / hydration carrier for my plate carrier. I don't always use all of these pouches, and that's one of the key advantages of the Molle system. I only take out what I need. For camouflage, most people will either use standard woodland camo, 3-color desert, or the ever-popular multicam. Woodland is great for greener environments, while 3-color desert excels in the desert. But multicam is a little of both. It's a universal pattern, meaning that it can be used in either wooded or arid environments, although I think it works slightly better in the arid environments. Multicam has become one of the most popular patterns used in airsofters, but I don't notice that. Razor and his brother Angel are the only 2 Rogers to actually use multicam. I personally use woodland for wooded environments, desert ATACs for my tan kit, and I'll also use an OD green khaki loadout every now and then. Other guys on our team use tiger stripes, desert chocolate chip, airman's battle uniform, black, and fleck tarn, among others. For official ops, it depends on what the team uniform requirements are, but usually we'll wear woodland or black tops on khaki pants. Those are pretty much our 2 standard uniforms. Your gun should be yours, and you should know it and love it. Personally, I use my KWA-M4 with mag-pull front handguard, flip-up iron sights, and a high-cap magazine. For Milsim games, I recommend a gun that shoots around 400 FPS, so that you can get that little extra range and punch through that brush that the enemy's going to be in cover behind. A 300 FPS gun often fails to penetrate the foliage as well as a higher FPS gun would. I don't find barrel length to be that important. My M4 length works just fine for me because it's more versatile than a longer gun. Now, I can't tell you what specific magazines to get. Just make sure that you get magazines that work before getting out on the field. There's no worse feeling than putting in your mag, pulling the trigger, and seeing nothing come out. It's terribly frustrating. Keep your magazines secure and clean so you don't jam up your gun. You know, when you're rolling around in the dirt, your magazines are going to get dirty. Wipe them down before you put them in your gun. Again, I carry one magazine more than I think I need to. And that's a good rule of thumb when it comes to ammo capacity. Take a little bit more than you think you're going to need. Now, I haven't made any special upgrades to my gun. And, none are required, really, to be successful in the field. 400 FPS is all you need as long as you can hit with decent accuracy. LiPos are good, but I have no personal experience with them, so I can't really speak towards that. But I manage a whole day on two 9.6 volt nunchuck batteries without any problem. No matter what battery you use, LiPo or not, I recommend carrying a backup. That's very important, and it's very nice to have, just in case your gun goes down. Now, I don't use any optics. Every red dot sight I've ever had is broken, so I've just given up on all that. Iron sights work fine with me. You're not accurate enough to long ranges to make serious use of a scope on an AEG, unless you're a super souped-up DMR, but you're probably not watching this video if you are. 4x zoom scopes, waste of money at Airsoft. You're not going to be shooting that far anyway. I can shoot just as easily with, the unbreakable iron sights as a red dot sight, so, it's not a functionality I need. Again, some people really like them. Yeah, more power to you, but it's just not something I've ever needed. Now, headgear. None of us wear helmets on a regular basis, so I'm less than useless when talking about helmet setups. I don't know the fancy SEAL team head setups or whatever. That's not something I look into. I have two helmets, but I rarely wear them. Helmets are hot, heavy, bulky, and they don't really provide any protection on the battlefield for most games, so I just stick with a boonie cap or baseball hat. It's lighter and it keeps me cooler, and yeah, I prefer it. I'll wear a painted skater helmet when I'm filming with my contour, but that's about it. If you're trying to replicate a real steel military unit, then you'll need to research what helmets they use or whatever you want to do. But at JRA, we're really focused more on function than appearance. A simple hat, bandana, or boonie cover is enough to protect my head. I'll also wear a shemagh around my neck just to give myself a rag to wipe sweat or dirt on. I can also dip it in water to cool off, or I can use it as a scarf when it's cold. I highly recommend the shemagh. It's a great piece of kit. Now, I don't personally have a working secondary weapon at this point. My KJW M1911 has been broken for some time now, and I've never gotten the little $6 part required to fix it. I get along just fine, though. A pistol is not a necessity. Sure, it's nice to have and cool to have, but you by no means need it. I use a CO2 pistol when I do use a pistol, but, if the enemy's that close, it's time to leave. So, that's really it for my talk about Milsim Loadout. I'm sure there's more I can expand on here. But if you follow these basic guidelines and are flexible and are able to adapt your loadout to fit your needs, then you'll have a successful loadout in no time. There's no singular template for loadout. I can't tell you what you should do, what you have to do. It's all up to you. And, each person's going to have their own unique preferences. The key is to find what those preferences are and create your own unique loadout. Now, I always carry a Nerf tomahawk on my leg. And some people think it's big, bulky, and stupid, but I don't care. It's part of what makes my loadout mine, and I would never suit up without it. I haven't ever, I don't think. So, good luck in finding your loadouts, and remember that we were all noobs once.